calling this meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals of the City of Greenfield to order at 7:02 p.m. via WebEx link. This meeting is being recorded. If any other persons present are doing the same, you must notify the chairperson at this time. Anybody else recording this? No? Okay. Then the public hearing scheduled at 7 p.m. is the application of Katrina Pacheco, RA of Pacheco Ross Architects PC, on behalf of the City of Greenfield for property located at 1012 Coombs Avenue, 33 and 35 through 39 Main Street, which is located in the Central Commercial Zoning District, for a variance and site plan approval pursuant to sections 200-8.4 and 200-8.7 of the zoning ordinance, in order to reduce the 8-foot landscape buffer requirement along Scum Avenue to 0, and to reduce the required open space from 15% for new developments to 7% at this location. Before we get into this, we have a couple issues. We do not have enough board members to sit on this tonight. Somebody who's not here and somebody who's at the hospital. So we're going to have to push this public hearing out. And at this point, it looks like we're looking at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, June 1st, also via WebEx. David, doesn't really matter, but can you make that?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna have the same issue, but we're hoping that in 2 weeks we'll have the other two bodies back here.
Is that the soonest date you can do?
Yeah. That's
okay.
the
Now
soonest.
I have my fire station hat on, but I don't have to be the one to speak on the issue.
Right.
We have to have let me just say this. The project needs by July 1st to have a special permit in hand. Hopefully that will be approved, but assuming the best, that is beyond the 20-day appeal period. So that's the math that we have to undertake.
I understand. We also have a board that's already down one and is missing one and is got one in the hospital. So at this point, that's the safest bet. And the rest of us have other obligations in addition. So we have to continue this to a date certain in order to be compliant legally, as opposed to a date that we can find. So shy of that, then that's the best we can do. We're operating in the dark here about member availability.
Mark, does this have to be reposted for a legal meeting?
Not if we do what I just said. If we try to find another date, leave the meeting tonight with just continuing it, not to a date certain, then yes, we will have to repost it, and with everything that comes with that. So we either go with a date certain, or we don't go with a date certain, and we find a date that all the people who will be able to sit on this particular matter can sit on it.
Does it have to be a Thursday night?
No, June 1st is a Wednesday night. But I will tell you this, I have other meetings Mondays, Tuesdays, and most Thursdays, and 2 Wednesdays.
Okay, so that's an excellent answer to the question. And counting the days, I believe June 1st would be fine. If somebody else on the fire station team has a different opinion, please speak up. But if everything moves as best as we can, and you all agree, hoping that that's the case, and by the end of the month, that permit would be in place. So thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I didn't mean to say that you didn't do your best.
No.
I just wanted to know for the record if you understood what the
yes,
lines were.
We've already made adjustments to try to make this happen for tonight. And unfortunately, medical emergencies do take priority. So
no, there's none of that necessary. We're just trying to, it's like, well, that happened, and we all hope that the person is better. That's the most important thing, but in trying to plan ahead. So June 1st is great. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
The only other thing I will say on this, there's really no point in people presenting tonight because we have members missing. So
I agree.
we're going to postpone to June or continue to June 1st, 7 p.m. If we find a date sooner than that, that we could actually do, have all the members necessary and get the posting notices out and the notifications, the ad in the paper, then we'll let the fire building committee know that
Thank you.
and see if everybody, if it's something that will actually work and the city wants to pay for the reposting, you know, we're willing. I mean, if we're able to do it, we're willing. So,
Mr. Chairman,
you know,
it's impossible to do the legal notice in the recorder and meet those dates.
so, but we can do the June 1st.
June 1st with no notice. You continue. We don't need to do the public whatever in recording.
Yeah, that's fine. I think June 1st,
Okay,
unless Katrina, I'm missing something, June 1st will work. And again, thank you very much.
no problem. Okay, so without objection from the board members, we're going to continue on the application of Katrina Pacheco, et cetera. We're going to continue that application, public hearing to Wednesday. Yep, that's right. June 1st at 7 p.m. on WebEx.
Great.
Is there any objection from the board members? Okay, so noted, and that's what we'll do. Now comes the fun part. So we got to kill a few minutes. Our next hearing is scheduled for 7:15, and that will be the application of PV squared. So in the meantime, let's do some minutes of March 10th, 2022.
I
Anybody
make
want
a
to
motion that we approve those minutes.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Okay. Is there discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say, wait a minute. No. Heck. Okay. So we'll go down the line here. Jim Wynn,
Yes.
Debbie Jokes,
Yes.
David Singer,
Yes.
and Mark Maloney's also yes. Okay. Minutes are passed unanimously. Okay. So given that, we cannot start the meeting, the hearing on application of PV squared until 7:15. So if everybody wants to take a break for the next 6 minutes, feel free. Mute your speaker, mute your camera, whatever you want to do. But now's a good time because we can't do anything else.
Mr. Chair,
Yo.
is there a reason that you're not on this, that you're just audio and not video?
Oh, yep, my fault. Thanks, David. There we go.
Yeah, I miss looking at you, and I couldn't stand to be in that position for much longer. So thank you.
In my boardroom, yes, yeah, yeah. Anyways, I'm going to mute now before I get into any more trouble. All right.
Yeah, you might want to say those things and turn around.
Yeah. Who's here for PV squared?
I am. My name is
Yeah.
Madeline.
Can you put that in your,
Is that not, I thought it doesn't
It's
say
not-
that.
oh, wait a minute. It did for a
It does
minute.
say it.
Okay,
It says it.
Now it does. Yep, there we go.
okay. I think
Okay.
maybe when I turn my video off, it might hide it or something.
Probably does. Okay. I'm going to read the notice of hearing, explain what we do, and then I got to talk to you guys for a minute. Who else for PV squared? Just
Just me, and
Madeline?
then the homeowner, Dan Carew, is with us as well.
Where is he? He also doesn't have anything in his box either, but now I know.
Oh,
All right.
I see it. Okay.
Actually, he does, Mr. Chairman. His name is there.
Not anymore. Why am I not saying it? Well, anyways, I believe it's Dan. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay. Why do I not have the thing?
You want me to read it?
No. Oh, you got it?
I do.
All right. Go ahead. Read it.
Application of PB squared for property located at 382 Adams Road, Assessor's Tax Map R07, Lot 3, which is located in the Rural Residential RC Zoning District, for a special permit pursuant to Sections 200-4.2 C17, 200-7.16, and 200-8.3 of the zoning ordinance in order to allow the installation of an 8.1 kilowatt DC ground-mounted PV array consisting of 18 panels at this location.
Okay. Before we get going. So, Dan and Madeline, Massachusetts law requires a supermajority of the ZBA members, which is 4, on an application for a special permit. We only have 4 tonight. So normally we would have 5 sitting on these matters. For various reasons, we just don't have that number tonight. Now, because it's the fault of the board, as it were, where you don't have enough members, you can go ahead with the 4 that we have tonight. But remember, you need 4 positive votes for a special permit application. However, because we don't have 5, we give you the choice of continuing tonight or postponing to our regular June meeting. So it's whatever you want to do is fine with us. I think I can speak for the board on that. So we just need to know, do you want to go ahead tonight or do you want to postpone to June? Okay, then we're
I
going to
think
go
we can
ahead.
go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, let's go ahead,
Yes.
please.
That's fine. Let me explain how we do this. In a moment, the members of the board will introduce themselves. You'll introduce yourselves. You'll tell us what you want to do, where you want to do it, why you want to do it. From time to time, the board may have questions. And at some point, we'll open it up to the public for public comment. And then once the public comment's closed, that's the end of that. The board may have other questions. The likelihood is if we keep ourselves on task here, we will roll through to the discussion and decision of the board right away. Okay. Now, from the time the decision is made, typed up and signed by the board members, there is a 20-day appeal period in which anybody who feels aggrieved by the actions of the board may appeal to a higher court. Hard to believe there's something higher than us. If at the end of the 20-day appeal period, all appeals have been settled or there are none, you may go ahead and do whatever we tell you you can do. Okay? I understand that. And everybody else who isn't actually participating in this, please mute your mic. Somebody's scraping a mic somewhere. And I am annoyed. So, okay. So the members of the board sitting are Mark Maloney,
Jim Wynn?
Jim Wynn, David Singer, and Debbie Jokes. And you are,
I'm Madeline Gassman. I'm a project manager for PV Squared.
okay, and Dan.
I'm Dan Carew, owner of property 382 Adams Road.
Okay, so go ahead and talk about it.
Wait,
Madeline,
can I-
probably. Yep.
Is it all right if I share my screen?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, great. Let's see. I don't have a ton of experience with Zoom. I usually use Meet, so please let me know.
Well, this is actually WebEx anyway, so there you
Okay,
go.
well, either way, I'm more used to Meet. Can you see my screen? You probably see it.
We
right?
can, yeah.
Okay, great. So as was mentioned, we are looking to install an 8.1 kilowatt DC ground mounted array. It's got 18 panels total, which means it's going to be 2 rows and it's going to be 9 panels each. This is a very similar array. This array, however, is it's actually a 20 panel. So this one is slightly wider. The array itself is going to be about 31.5 feet, like width-wise. And then if it was like laying on the ground, this is 13 feet. Can you see my cursor? Am I?
Yep.
Okay, great. The back is just under 10 feet tall, about 9.6 feet. Okay. This is an aerial view of the property. The house is here. Driveway is right here. Adams Road is right here. The north arrow right here. The array is going in the backyard. This is a lovely garden, and this is actually a bit of a slope. There's one nice flat spot right there, and this is where we're going to put the array. So you can't see it from the road. There will be a one-time disturbance for a trench, which will be done to electrical code, probably by a mini excavator. What we try and do is do it all in one day, as long as we can line up inspections. If we can't do it one day, it's usually closed by the second. Trench itself, usually if they use a mini excavator, 12 inches wide, usually 2 feet deep, and then closed after inspection. The array itself would also be a one-day thing, probably more like a couple hours, and it will be a one-time disturbance as well. If you can see here, these each are posts and they'll get screwed into the ground. So the machine will most likely take this path at all, which I do have a picture I'll show you in a moment. And then it'll go to each of those spots and try very hard not to disturb the ground and just screw that screw down. In terms of us then doing installation, most likely they're going to end up parking in the driveway and carrying things down. So it's minimal disturbance. There's a tree line behind it, and then there's a field right here as well. There is a neighboring house right here. Got the property lines here. You'll notice that their property line is kind of in their backyard, and then from their property line is about 40 feet to that to like a corner. And that's the closest property line. And I've got a few pictures. Hold on one second here. So if you can see my tape, I did this in the winter, so I wasn't able to put a bunch of flags in, but you can see a little white flag there. Maybe I can maybe make this a little larger. So it'd pretty much be this right here. Got another picture from just a different angle right here. And then the path that will most likely take for the trench and also for that machine is this way. Yeah, and I know, David, I think you swung by earlier today.
Madeline, those images that you were referencing weren't showing up.
Oh, they weren't. Oh, okay, hold on. Oh, you know what it is I need to share a different screen. I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. Try share photos. Sorry about that. Okay. Do you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you for pointing that out. So, yep, be about that long. There was a pile here, so it wasn't completely flat. And this would be the path. The driveway is up here, and then the path trench. Most likely the path that machine to do the post would go this way as well. And then this is just another angle right here, and you can see the field behind it, tree line there as well.
Okay, what do you have for screening between the nearest house and the array?
Dan, do you want to speak to this?
Yeah. So between ourselves and the neighbor to the north, there is a line right along that runs right along the property line of lilac bushes, as well as some smaller. There's a couple smaller maples that are at the back, kind of that back corner where the property line takes a corner where you got the 40 approximately 40 foot. There's some maples, some small maples. There is a black walnut tree there, a beauty bush. They all stand, bare minimum of like 10 feet tall.
That might be a little better. There we go.
Yeah. So you can see the shading that's being cast by the vegetation that's on the back side of the property, or not the back side of the property, the hedge line, for lack of better words, hedge line. So yeah, where your cursor was just circling there. So I think, is that what you're asking about? Like what obstruct the view of it to the neighbors?
Yep. Normally on ground mounted arrays, we'll have a condition to put some arborvitae between the nearest neighbor. But we'll talk about that later. Is that, the trench is how long, Madeline?
Oh, I think it was about 200 feet. To be honest, I don't think I wrote it down on here. That's embarrassing.
That's, all right. All right, anyways. It fits our standards, so is this a screw mount or an auger mount?
I believe it's gonna be a screw mount.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's all right. Are you done?
Unless you
Talking
guys have
about-
more questions, yeah.
Yeah, well, okay. So what we do is we're gonna go down the line. I don't have any more questions currently. Jim Nguyen, you have any questions?
I do. Where's your septic in
sorry.
relation to this?
Sorry, let me share again. I apologize.
Madeline, where's your septic tank in relation to this?
It's
Dan,
right.
can you speak to that?
Yeah, it's right behind the house, right where your cursor. Hold your cursor there, Madeline.
Yep.
Right near that cursor is a trampoline, and so between the trampoline and the house, the septic sits there.
Okay, so you will not be trenching across that
No.
for your power or
Oh,
anything?
no.
No.
Okay,
We do
thank
our,
you. No more.
we definitely do not want to be going near the septic.
At least you don't want to be there when you do. So,
Thank you.
Debbie Jokes, please.
Sorry, I had trouble hitting the button there. The field that's behind your home, is that a working farm? It appears to be, but
So that property is owned by David Pasnick, owner of Rainbow Harvest Farms. He sells at the Greenfield Farmers Market, and so he typically farms there. He didn't last year. He might this year. I think COVID has obviously impacted his business, but he's the owner of the property, and he accesses that field by driveway that's about 2 houses down the road from us, and so he goes that way around to access the field.
okay. Thank you.
Okay, and David Singer, please. Questions?
Yes, thank you. Dan, have you spoken to the neighbor at 390 about this?
Is that the one that's the one just to the north of me? Yeah.
Right, where the hand is, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they are aware. We were talking about actually about a week ago, and talking about their potential for solar. They're waiting to redo their roof before they actually consider doing solar, but yeah, they're very well aware.
I mean, I know they're aware by notice. I just wonder if you had spoken to them.
Yeah, and we talked about, I mentioned the height of what it would be down the hill there, the 9.6. Said it would be about 10 feet tall. Again, if whoever came by today, you probably saw the gradient's pretty steep. So even
Yeah.
at 9 feet, 10 feet, you're not going to see a lot of it. So.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Jim Nguyen, you want to read correspondence, please?
Okay, we have from the planning board, no comments or issues. From the superintendent engineering, no comments or issues. And from the fire department, no comments or issues.
And
That's
I
it.
was just talking while I was muted. Yeah, I know. Okay, so at this point, Dan or Madeline, do you have anything else you want to add right now?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay, yes, wise decision. Okay, so we'll open it up to public comment on the application of PV squared for property located at 382 Adams Road, Assessor's Tax Map R07 Lot 3. Any public comment on the application? We open public comment at 7:29. Any public comment? Okay, going once. Going twice. Closing public comment unless somebody flags us right now. Okay, we're closing public comment at 7:30, which just happens to be our meeting time for the next application. So Madeline and Dan, I'm sorry. We'll come back to this tonight. We won't make a decision tonight. You can hang around for the next two applications or come back or check back periodically. But we're trying to keep on time for a change. So thank you for your presentation. I don't think the board will actually have any more questions, but in case we do, you do want to come back when we get to our discussion and decision part. Okay, next up.
Sorry to interrupt. What time do you think you'll do the discussion? Or
Well,
is that
not for the
unknown?
next half hour
Okay.
because we have two other applications and they're both scheduled for 15-minute presentations. So
Understood.
not before 8 o'clock. How's that? Okay. All right. So
Mark,
next
can I
up.
read the next one?
Yeah, if you have it right handy.
I do.
Okay.
Application of Daniel Keller and Frank Trampenzi for property located at 40 Stetson Drive, Assessor's Tax Map R20, Lot 34, which is located in a rural residential RC zoning district for a special permit pursuant to section 200-4.2 C13 and 200-8.3 of the zoning ordinance for a kennel license to allow for 4 dogs at this location.
Okay. Am I still unmuted? Yes, I am. Which people are screaming about. Okay, so off the bat, we will note now, where is it there? Dan and Frank. Trapanese or Trapanese? You got to unmute.
Oh, it's a Trapanese, yes.
Okay. Okay, so were you here before when I mentioned that we're down to 4 members
Yes.
tonight?
Yes.
So you heard, we give you the option. Do you want to continue tonight?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's fine. And the other thing I will mention is that Debbie Jilks, I wouldn't call it a real conflict, but she works at the same place as Dan.
Yes.
Okay. So we just want to make a note of that for the record, that they do work at the same place. Okay. So did you hear my spiel about how we're going to introduce ourselves? You introduce yourselves, you tell us what you want to do, where you want to do, why you want to do it.
Yeah, right.
From time to time, the board members will have questions, and then we will read correspondence and open it up to public comment. Once public comment is closed, that's done. We will probably at this point not do it right away. We will roll into our next application, a permit application, but we will do it tonight.
Okay.
And from once we've made a decision, it will be typed up, signed by the board members, and once that happens, it will be filed with the town clerk. From the time it's filed with the town clerk, there's a 20-day appeal period in which anybody who feels aggrieved by the action of the board can appeal to a higher court. If at the end of the 20-day appeal period there are no appeals or they have been settled, you may go ahead and do what we say you can do. You understand all that?
Right.
Okay, so the members of the board are sitting are Mark Maloney,
Jim Nguyen.
Jim Nguyen,
David Singer.
David Singer, and Debbie Jill. Okay, you two are?
I'm Frank Trapanese. And I'm Dan Kelleher of 42nd Drive.
All right, that's great. I had you guys' names flipped, but that's okay. So go ahead, tell us all about it.
So we have 4 Labrador Retrievers, age 8, 3, and 2 that are 6 months. We're applying for a kennel license to have the 4 dogs that reside in our home. This would be for personal use. We have no desire to actually run an actual kennel. It's just to keep our 4 pet dogs that live with us in our home. We have a fenced-in yard that's about 131 feet by 80 feet. So the dogs are well cared for. I mean, I don't know what else to present to you. You know, we're just applying to keep the 4 dogs as pets.
Right. So how did you acquire the 4 dogs?
So we had the 2 older dogs are the parents, and the
Okay.
2 young ones are their pups.
So I guess then we're going to say the parents are not spayed or neutered.
Well, the mother is spayed. She had complications when she had her litter. The father is scheduled with Brookside Animal Hospital to be fixed.
My sympathies to my fellow mammal.
Right.
Okay, so normally, how did you become aware you needed a kennel permit?
We sent the 4 applications for their yearly license.
Okay, all right. So basically, what's triggered here is she had a litter of 2, because you can have 3 dogs in the home.
Right.
Once you cross over to 4, it requires a kennel permit. So
Right.
just making sure I understand it all. The 4 dogs are all related. That's why you have 4.
Right.
The 2 older dogs cannot reproduce, or will soon not be able to reproduce.
Correct.
You have no intention of running a commercial kennel. You have no intention of acquiring any more canines.
Right.
No.
Okay. The backyard is fenced in. I did have a question. We of course have all your information.
Mhm.
There was a drawing on the garden, going around the garden. The garden is to the side of the house or front of the house?
So yeah, there's a garden all around the house, but in the backyard there used to be a above ground pool. So that kind of it's planted area now. Like
Oh, okay. All right. So my question was the front garden. That's what we're going to
right.
call it. Is that fenced also, or that's just a garden?
No, it's
That's
just
just a
a garden.
Okay, fair enough. The fence does have gates in it, correct?
Yes, there's
Yeah.
4 gates on each corner, and
Okay. All right. And are the dogs ever left out in the fenced-in area alone for when you're not in the house?
no,
No.
they're only outside under supervision, and we actually both work remotely, so we're always here with the dogs.
Okay.
Right, and you're ready to kill each other. No, just kidding. Okay, and that may continue to be the case, but it may not, so that's why we ask those kinds of
Right.
questions.
Sure. No problem.
Okay, I think that's really the only questions I had, so we're gonna go down the line. Jim Wynn, questions?
I have no questions. I see that, just one note that they're going to pick up every day after the dogs, which I think is fantastic.
Right.
Thank you.
Which actually triggers another question, which is, and how do you dispose of the dog waste?
There is a wooded area behind us.
We have
which
a compost pile.
we have a compost area.
Okay. The
Well-
actual correct answer was we dispose of it, in commercial waste haulage, but that's okay.
All right. Well,
No worries about it. All right.
that was the honest answer.
Just wanted to ask that while we're here. Okay, Debbie Jokes.
I just want to clarify, so the where the dogs are in the back, it's completely fenced in. There's no access to the front of the house at all.
Completely in. Correct.
All right, thank you.
So the vicious Doberman, Labrador that we saw in the pictures cannot attack the male person.
Correct.
All right. The male, whatever.
Area.
Okay, cool. Excellent. All right. David Singer, please.
No questions.
Okay. All right. Then let's read some correspondence, Mr. Wynn.
Okay. From the planning board, no comments or issues. From the engineer and superintendent, no comments or issues. And from the fire department, no comments or issues with this applicant.
Oh, didn't we have a thing from the Board of Health too?
I didn't see it. Eric?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, that was initially sent to you in your packet. No comments or issues.
Right. Oh, yeah, there, I have it. Yeah, all right. So that's, I want to make sure that, so the Board of Health has no comments or issues. The other thing is, on both these applications, the planning board had no issues, but they did forward a positive recommendation to us. So having said that, we read the correspondence. We're not bad on time. Anything you guys want to add before we go to public comment?
No, thank you.
No.
Sure. You sure you don't want to read something from the papers? I'm just kill some time here. Okay, then that's fine. We're going to go ahead and go open up public comment on the application of Dan Kelleher and Frank Japanese, yeah, for a kennel permit at 40 Stetson Drive at 7:40. We're opening the public comment. Is there public comment on this? Now is the time. Public comment, of course, on the actual application. Seeing none. Hearing none. We'll wait 30 more seconds, for the late joiners. We were on time, which is always our goal. So, okay. Going once, twice. Public comment on the application for 40 Stetson Drive. Correct. Yep, correct. For a kennel permit. Okay, seeing none, we're going to close the public comment at 7:40 and 51 seconds. And you know what? I think if the other board members agree with me, we have time to roll through this. Everybody good? Board members, I mean, nod. Okay. So, this is the discussion and decision on the application of Daniel Kelleher and Frank Japanese. Property located at 40 Stetson Drive, Assessor Tax Map R20 Lot 34, which is located in the Rural Residential Zoning District. Special permit pursuant to sections 200-4.2C13 and 200-8.3 of zoning ordinance in order for a overly kennel license to allow for 4 dogs at this location. Okay, I'll start. I have no particular issues with this. The dogs are family members, and by that I mean of the canine family. I'm sure the humans also feel that they're family members. The mother in this particular case is already fixed, and the dad is sadly on his way. I'm going to assume we will put a condition that the applicants are limited to the 4 dogs currently on site. And that way they can't breed the puppies when they're of age without coming back to us. I'm satisfied with the setup at the house. I've seen pictures. The dogs look fine. We could, so we will make a condition on this permit is limited to the dogs and the site currently there. If somebody wants to, we could make a condition that the animal officer has to check once a year and get back to us, but that's pretty much ignored anyways. So if somebody wants to make it, we can. It's actually a fairly normal condition, but I think that's all I got. So moving down the line, Jim Nguyen.
I have no comments or issue with this project. I think it's a first-class effort.
And Debbie Jokes.
Yeah, I agree with the limitation on the 4 dogs and, the current setup, but other than that, I'm good.
Yep. Okay. David Singer.
Thank you. I had a chance to go out there today. I met with Frank. I met with the dogs. They're very nice dogs, and Frank is a very nice person. The only thing I would add, because they got caught in the web, and the web is for a kennel special permit with the word kennel. So even though it's a drag for them, on our side of it, we don't want it to be too open-ended so that they actually are running a kennel. So I want the condition to be that it's only for their personal and residential use, this special permit.
Yeah, that's fine. So those are the 2
It's
conditions.
a win-win on that in that way.
Yep. Sorry, he meant a Maloney. No, just kidding. Win-win. Got it. Jim Win. All right.
I could have said singers too, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. Okay, so that was painful, but we will get through it. All right. Okay, I have no more questions or comments. Do the applicants have anything they want to add before we make the decision? I would say probably not.
I don't think
No,
so.
we're good.
Good choice. Okay, somebody want to make a motion? David?
Oh, I move. Can we so move based on what we just talked about, or do you want me to be more specific and read it again?
I think probably. So you know what? Let me do it.
Sure.
I'm going to move that we approve the application of Daniel Kelleher and Frank Trapanese for property located at 40 Stetson Drive, Assessor's Tax Map R20 Lot 34, located in the rural residential zoning district, for special permit pursuant to section 200-4.2 C13, 2-8.3 of the zoning ordinance for a kennel license to allow for the 4 dogs in the house at this time, with no further acquiring of more dogs, and with the positive motion for as written in the packet, with the following conditions.
Condition that it be, that this special permit be only for their personal and residential use. That's condition 1, that it's, the permit is for these dogs only. Up to
Correct.
a maximum of 4 dogs. I don't think I heard anything else. Please
No.
remind me, someone, but I think those were the 2 conditions.
Yep.
And
I
then,
think so.
it runs with the, well, having it be these dogs, it runs with the dogs.
Right.
So
Right.
that's how we leave it.
Well, no, it runs with the dogs and the particular property, because this is the particular property the hearing was held on. So if they move somewhere else in Greenfield, then they're gonna have to come back.
But if I move in and take down the fence and bring in 4, well, I can only, they'd have to sell me the house with the dogs, I guess, for the kennel to work. I
Right.
doubt
No.
that'll happen. All right, we got it. We're there. Thank you.
The kennel permit runs at this location with these dogs and with these owners.
There you go. You got
Okay.
it.
And Jim, I thought I heard you second that.
Second.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no further discussion, hearing no further discussion, we'll go for a vote. Maloney votes yes. Wynn,
Yes.
Jilks,
Yes.
and Singer.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so keeping him in suspense.
Just
Okay.
busting you guys.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Keller, Mr. Trapanese, there you go. Talk to Eric next week. As soon as this is signed, typed up and signed, then you start the process with the clerk's office. Okay?
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Take
All
care,
right.
guys.
You too. All right. Now we're not quite on time, but we're almost on time.
You want me to read it?
Yeah, because I got the wrong one. Oh, yeah, go ahead and read it, Jim.
Okay, application of Roundabout Books Incorporated for property located at 85 Pier Street, Assessors Tax Map 82, Lot 43, which is located in the urban residential RA zoning district for a special permit pursuant to section 200-6.1 C1, 200-6.1 200-6.5 A6, and 200-8.3 of the zoning ordinance in order to exchange the existing non-conforming use from approximately 50% warehouse, 25% office, 25% fabrication to approximately 40% warehouse, 50% retail, 10% office, and to continue the existing non-confronting rear setback of 10 feet and allow the reduction of off-street parking from 21 to 12 spaces at this location.
Okay. Now who's here for the applicant?
Mr. Chairman, my name is Steve Flickenschild. I am the applicant for Raymond Neal.
Okay, why do I not see him?
I'm also here. Oh, I'm sorry.
Now I see him.
I'm
Okay,
not visible.
All
Oh,
right,
good.
no, you are not. Yeah.
Hi,
no.
thank you for having me.
You can't see me at all?
Raymond Neal, I can see, and Stephen Flickenschild.
Yep. Yeah,
I
good
can
luck.
see. All right.
Can you see me? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can. It's fine.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, were you guys here before you heard the thing I went through with how we do
Yes.
this process? Okay,
Yes.
that's fine. So the members of the board sitting here, Maloney, go ahead, Jim Wynn, where are you?
Jim Wynn?
And Debbie? Get on mute. Deb?
Sorry, I lost my mouse on my second screen. Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I wish I could lose some of the mics here. And David?
David Singer.
Okay, so go ahead. Whoever wants to talk, tell us all about it. What you want to do, where you want to do it, and why you want to do it.
Sure. Do you guys mind if I share my screen?
Nope, that's fine.
Perfect.
I mean, no, we don't mind if you share your screen.
Okay. Can everybody see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so this is for 85 Pier Street. There's an existing building on the site. The building was previously used for a mechanical contractor and fabricator. We are planning on using this facility. Raymond is planning on using this facility for warehousing and online sales of his books, as well as media such as CDs, DVDs. There will also be a small area of office space inside, and the big change is probably the change to retail, actually, which there currently is not retail at this location. So this image that I'm showing you right now is the existing site. As you can see right here, we are actually, pull this up, we are actually in between Chapman Street and Davis Street.
Yep.
Okay. And to run down through it really quick, right now there is paved parking in this portion of the area. There is an existing gravel parking in this portion of the area, which will probably hold about 5 cars maximum. There is also a paved drive, which they use for drop off, which they will be using for drop off for their books down into the basement area. There is residential properties around the entire perimeter. And I'm going to actually take you now to the proposed site plan. So with the proposed site plan, what we're trying to do is the parking was calculated per parking ordinance at a total of 21 spaces. That's way more than what Raymond actually needs for his bookstore. He did some calculations for the past month, and through that whole month, the maximum number of vehicles at any one time is approximately 4 vehicles. So we're requesting a reduction in the amount of parking from 21 spaces down to 12. That will allow for 5 employee parking spaces and 6 parking spaces, one of which will actually be a van parking space, which is located right here. This will actually be a paved space with paved access aisle right next to it, up to an accessible route with an accessible ramp going up to the main entry at the building. The existing gravel parking area, as you can see right here, will be expanded by approximately 2,000 square feet to allow for that increase in parking from approximately, as I mentioned before, from about 5 to 12.
Yep.
The existing access path will remain the same. The paved parking will actually be reduced by approximately 528 square feet. There's paved parking all up against the side of the building right now. We're paving. That will actually become landscaping area, as well as an accessible path up to the main entry.
Okay.
The main entry is currently this area right here, which is covered. We are planning on having an open structure over top of the accessible ramp. It will not be a covered structure, and the reason for that is that it will allow light to continue into that south elevation right here, which is going to be a children's book area.
Okay.
We have snow storage areas both in the back of the parking lot as well as in the front of the parking lot. To shield the parking and headlights actually from the residential neighbors, we will have a line of arborvitae and other plantings actually along this west side as well as the north side of the parking area.
Yep.
Let's see, I think that's probably all on the outside. I'm going to run you through really quick on the inside space.
Let me jump in here for a
Sure,
minute.
go ahead.
Not that I don't want to hear your thing, but from looking at the drawings, you're not actually changing the foundation, correct?
That's correct, not at all.
Okay. So that I just want to make, and the other thing while I'm thinking of it, because my mind's a sieve, you got a gully on the east side. You got a stream running through.
That's correct. Yep, right in this area.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead. Continue, please.
Sure. Okay, so if we go to the inside, this is the existing facility right here. I'll
Yep.
go from the basement up. So there's an existing welding room. That's actually going to be used for Ray's media sales. This, the rest of the portion of the building is actually existing warehouse storage. That will actually be used for his book sorting area. There's an existing mechanical room, which will remain the same. There is a stair that goes up to the main floor up above. At the main floor, as I mentioned, the main entry is here. There is an existing conveyor that has since been taken out or will be taken out with a closet behind that. The intent here is to actually have a vertical lift
Okay.
so that somebody in a wheelchair can actually go up to the second floor.
Yep.
Warehouse storage, existing office area, an enclosed office, and 2 bathrooms, one of which is not currently accessible. The warehouse storage, this will become retail space. This will actually be children's retail area and reading area. This office back here, which is existing, will become Ray's office. The 2 bathrooms, this one will actually be, the men's bathroom right here will be enlarged into these 2 closet spaces to make that an accessible bathroom. As I mentioned, the conveyor belt will come out. If I go up to the next floor, this is currently the existing location, layout, warehouse storage, and a back little office. This will actually become more retail sales at the second floor here. This area here will be in-house storage of books. This area right here will become an employee break room. Ray, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe there's a maximum of between 5 and 6 employees. I think it's more 5 employees that will be using this space.
That's right.
And intermittently, not
right.
really at any one time.
Mhm.
The proposed changes to the building, I kind of mentioned as I was going through the existing conditions. Retail sales with book storage down in the ground floor on the second floor. Break room, main floor, retail sales. This is all circulation space, basically. Ray's office, children's book area, accessible bathrooms. Basement plan, this is going to be book sorting and storage, media shipping, and then media shipping and storage, or media sorting and storage in the back and mechanical area.
Okay.
Just to run through really quickly again on the outside, we are not planning on installing any exterior lighting, pole mounted lighting, and the reason for that is because of the fact it's all residential around the entire perimeter.
Yep.
We don't want to have any impact on the residential neighborhood at all. There is an existing exterior light mounted on the side of the building. If we find that we do need additional light, we'll probably have another building mounted light on this side that will be night sky compliant. And that is it. That's my presentation.
Fine. Hours of operation.
Sure. Hours of operation.
Our,
Go ahead, Ray. You want to
currently 10 to 6. Yeah, we're
Okay,
currently
so-
open 10 to 6. We don't, we don't operate in odd hours.
So just because we want to clarify, so the business is where currently?
The business is currently at 26 Kimball Street in the old Kimball's Laundry Building with
Okay,
Fast
no,
Mall
that's all
Hardware.
right. Yep, that's okay. That's good. Now we got that clear. So currently, the Pier Street building is occupied or unoccupied?
It is currently, I mean, we purchased it last year, but we're not operating our retail, we just have some storage in there now.
Okay, all right. So the reason the 21 parking spaces are actually for the old business that was there.
As I understand it, Steve may be able to speak to this, but I think the number 21 comes from an abstraction of the size of the building. I
Right.
don't think anyone ever had 21 people there either.
No, that's fine. I had a friend who worked at that building at a different business 40 years ago, so it's all good. All right.
I met a lot of JH Smith people from there.
Yeah. So hours of operation 10 to 6. What days a week?
We're currently open 7 days a week.
You are. Okay. All right. We've looked at the plans. You're not planning on any signs that would require their own special permit.
No.
I don't believe so, no.
Okay. You're planning on the exterior lighting being what you have currently
That's correct.
only.
That's correct.
Okay, just making the point that if you want to add some wall packs, now's the time, rather than having to come back to us. As you noted, you're in a dense residential about as dense as they get around here, residential area. I don't have any problems with the hours of operation. I don't have any problems with the parking as outlined in the plan. I think it's a good reuse of the building. I think personally, not speaking for the board, I think the proposed parking plan is a good one. And other than that, I can't really think of any other questions for now. So, are you guys done with your presentation for the moment? Then we'll just go down the board members and see what questions they might have. You're all
Yes.
good? Okay. So,
Thank
Jim Nguyen, questions?
I don't have any questions at this time.
Okay. Debbie Jelks, questions?
None at this time.
Okay. David Singer, questions?
No, none at this time.
Okay. Then why don't we read the correspondence, Jim?
Okay, right now for Pier Street, from the planning board, no issues. From the engineering, no comments or issues. And from the fire department, no comments or issues.
Right. Okay. So you guys are aware that we would probably make a condition that you have to comply with all fire codes and building codes in your redoing. But you make life simpler by not touching the foundation. You know, and we try to make
Sure.
this as painless as possible from our end, and it helps when the applicants do the same. Okay, so it is 8:01. We will open it up to.
I'm sorry, when things are read to the record by Mr. Nguyen, did he read the planning board recommendation?
He said that they had no issues.
No comments or issues with it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Right. And just for the record, they forwarded a positive recommendation to us on the permit with no comments or issues.
Thank
So, all right. So now it's 8:01:30, and we will open the public comment on the application of Roundabout Books for property located at 85 Pier Street. Any public comment on the application? I kind of feel like the Jeopardy clock, you know. Ding, 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 ding. And I'm assuming, because I think I can see the whole screen. Eric, do I see the whole screen? So there's nobody else here except for PV Squared and Roundabout, right?
Yeah.
And the board members. Okay, then we're going to close public comment at 8:02 p.m. Okay. Anything else you guys want to add?
Nope.
Okay, then I will go first. Any other questions from the board to the applicants before we go?
No.
Okay, then I'll go first. Okay, I already kind of said it. Got no issues. I think the application is good. I think it's a great use. I'm glad to hear that the business is moving and expanding. You can just nod if you're expanding. I'm going to consider it an expansion. I think this is a case where a non-conforming grandfathered use works well, or expansion works well in the neighborhood. And I feel that they have the necessary parking to do this plan. So I am in favor of the application. All right, Jim Nguyen?
I'm in favor of the application, and I like the hours of business from 10 to 6 too.
Okay. Debbie Jokes?
I'm good. Yes, I'm good with it as well.
Okay. So David Singer?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I agree with everything that you said. I also think it doesn't have a negative impact on the neighborhood. In fact, I think it has a positive impact on the neighborhood.
Yep. So when somebody makes a motion, I think probably the only conditions are, as I said, the hours of operation 10. I think we need a condition of the hours of operation are 10 to 6. And the condition also that all of the conditions are as applied for in this submittal. And that will restrict the lighting, and that will restrict the signage. And I think that's all
And
I get for conditions. Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
just per the submitted plans and site plan.
Yeah. So, you know what? I'll go ahead and make the motion and then, you can add the conditions. So I'm going to move that the board approves the application Roundabout Books Inc. for property located at 85 Pier Street, Assessor's Tax Map 82, Lot 43, which is located in the urban residential zoning district for a special permit pursuant to sections 200-6.1 C1, 200-6.1 E, 200-6.5 A6, and 200-8.3 zoning ordinance in order to change the existing non-conforming use from approximately 50% warehousing, 25% offices, and 25% fabrication to approximately 40% warehousing, 50% retail, and 10% offices, and to continue the existing non-conforming rear yard setback of 10 feet, and to allow the reduction of off-street parking from 21 to 12 spaces at this location with the following conditions. Yeah.
All right, sorry.
David, you want to add the conditions?
This way. Hours of operation shall be 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily, Monday through Sunday.
Yep.
The work being contemplated shall be done per the plans and site plans submitted with the application.
All right.
I don't think there was anything else.
Yeah. Conform to all Greenfield
Conforms
fire
to all Greenfield's building codes and
fire codes, and yeah,
related regulations
right. All good.
and ordinances.
And ordinance. Okay, is there a second? Debbie?
Yes, I second that.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. There's no further discussion, so I'm going to call for a vote. I vote yes. Jim Wynn?
I vote
Yeah.
yes.
Yep. Okay. Debbie Jokes
Yes.
and David Singer.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so there you go. So I think you guys were here earlier. You heard all about the stuff. Call Eric next week. Once the board members sign, goes over to town hall, city hall.
Yeah.
And once it's filed with the clerk, 20-day appeal period. Considering the lack of correspondence and public comment, you can start earlier, but it's at your own risk. Right.
Excellent.
So, all right. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you all.
Nice presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Yes. Good luck.
Thanks.
See you at the
Thank you so
store.
much.
Yeah. Right.
Thanks again.
For actual books, as opposed to Kindles. Okay.
That's next.
We did the dog thing, so we're back to PV squared.
Yes.
Okay.
We've come full
Oh,
circle.
I'm still here. I had to call in. Sorry about that. My screen started to freeze, so I hope you guys can hear me.
You're right. We won't ask where
Okay.
you are, but yes. Okay. So sorry we made you wait a little bit, but we were pretty sure the others were pretty simple. Frankly, as is this. I don't actually, so I'm going to start the discussion and decision on the application of PV squared for property at somewhere 382 Adams Road, Assessor's Map R7 Lot 3, for a special permit in order to allow the installation of an 8.1 kilowatt DC ground mounted PV array consisting of 18 panels at this location. Okay. I have no issues with this. The only condition I could see would be if we wanted additional screening on the northerly, between the array and the northerly neighbor. However, there is some screening already of vegetation, so I'll leave that up to the rest of the board to figure out. So I will vote. I will have a positive vote on this. And Jim Wynn.
It looks like a good setup. I will have a positive vote on this also.
Okay, Debbie Jokes. Can't hear you.
She doesn't care.
I don't know what my problem is tonight. I am so sorry. Yes, I think it's a
lost my
nice
video
location
there.
for it. I'm good with it.
Yeah, the gremlins, the internet gremlins are out in force
Yeah,
tonight.
usually I have no problems. I just can't do it today.
Right, no worries. Okay. And David Singer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to make a comment. I went to see the property, and the reason I asked if the neighbor had been informed is because the neighbor didn't show up to discuss it. So I'm assuming that the neighbor's okay with the boundaries the way they are. To the northeast of the array, that boundary does not have vegetation. But there is strong vegetation on the other line that Dan was referring to, the line from the street back to the corner. And that may be sufficient. So I don't want to impose myself, but I would have stood ready to listen to that if that was requested, but it was not.
Right.
So just that
And,
for the record.
and the other thing is that there was no correspondence from the neighbors either.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm not going to impose myself on that. Just for the record, though, that you were talking about it. I agree that was something to consider, and that it be per the construction, per the plans and the site plan that were submitted with the application.
Right. Acquire all required permits. And so, for example, the trench is 2 feet. I don't know, Eric, does that trigger the trenching permit? I don't think so.
That's a good question. I don't have the answer to that. I think it would.
So for trenches, sorry to interrupt. It's part of the electrical permit. We include that there's a trench, and then the inspector comes out and inspects that.
Yeah, Greenfield has a fairly stringent trenching permit requirement, so I think a condition
I will triple check it then.
Yeah, a condition we'll impose is that if you find out if you need a trenching permit and acquire it before starting.
Yep.
And the other thing I would say, I don't think we will make it. I think actually we could make it a advise for the permit. I don't know if we'd actually make it a condition. So Dan, I'm sorry, is it Dan?
It
There's
is.
so many,
Yeah,
there's
Dan.
multiple Dans tonight. That's fine. You might want to think about putting some arborvitae on the back corners of the array that the neighbors could possibly see during the winter. That's usually the main objection we get from neighbors on these things. So, you've talked to the neighbors. Have you talked to both neighbors?
Yeah, I've talked to the neighbors to the north of us and neighbors also to the
Okay.
south of us, which are up the hill. I don't think they would be able to see
They
the
Right.
array at all in
Right.
our
That one,
barns.
just
and
the one neighbor.
Yeah.
Right. And you also made the point that the ground falls away there anyway. So, yeah. And again, we're not going to impose ourselves necessarily here because of the particular landscape. So just saying, might be a good idea. We won't make it a recommendation. Dave, what do you think about that? Should we make it a recommendation? To be consistent with,
You made a condition
no, a recommendation.
in the opinion that they put arborvitae around.
That they want to consider some.
Sure. Yes, I would. That would. That's fine.
All right, then let me
Dan
go.
seemed to be okay with it.
Yeah, let me go ahead. I'll make the motion. That the board approve the application of PV squared for property located at 382 Adams Road, Assessor's Tax Map R7, Lot 3, which is located in the Rural Residential Zoning District for a special permit pursuant to sections 200-4.2 C17, 200-7.16, and 200-8.3 of the zoning ordinance in order to allow the installation of an 8.1 kilowatt DC ground mounted photovoltaic array consisting of 18 panels at this location as submitted, with the recommendation that the homeowner install deciduous fencing or deciduous screening of the arborvitae type.
To the northeast of the array.
Yeah, in the sight line of the neighbors to the northeast and northerly. It's a funny road that kind of twists, so sometimes you're not really sure which way you're facing, but that's my motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Who seconded?
David.
David did. Okay, thank you. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, hearing none, and nobody.
Did you mention the part about making sure that?
Yep,
that
no,
they
I
needed
didn't.
the trench?
I didn't. With the following condition, which Debbie's going to mention.
That they confirm whether or not a trench permit is needed, if it's not included with the electrical one, and that they
Right.
take that.
Yeah, that's fine. They're going, yeah, the requirement to check on trench permit requirements and acquire all needed electrical, trench, and building permits.
And Mr. Chair, per the plans and the site plan submitted with the application.
Right. Eric, you understand the intent of this, and I'm sure you'll.
Yeah, I just wanted Eric to hear that. So,
Yep.
Yes.
thank you.
Okay. All good. Anything else? Seeing none? Anybody waving at me? Jim lost his video, but he's retained his mind, I'm sure. Mine's about
Other
gone.
things that you don't see them.
Right. Okay. So motion's been made and seconded with conditions. Things are falling from the pile over here. I'm going to call for a vote. Maloney says yes. Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Thank you. Debbie Jokes?
Yes?
Okay. And David Singer?
Yes.
Okay. So that's four. That's actually not declared unanimous, but is declared a majority because unanimous would be 5 votes. So we'll correct that. All right. So you guys heard Madeline, wherever she is. You heard what I said before about the appeal period and all that stuff. Okay.
Yep, 20
And
days after you
I know
file
she
with the
already
town.
knows it. So,
Celebrating.
all right. Excellent. All right. Well, good luck with that. And okay. So you guys are done. You all set?
Great, thank you.
Go and soak up the sun. Make some-
Thank you very much. Have a great night.
You too. Make
Have a
some-
good night, everybody.
All right.
Nice to meet you.
Now, board members.
Yes, sir.
Here.
Yes, sir.
So, all right, so we are looking, there is an application for a regular June that would be taken up at the regular June meeting. We are looking at Wednesday, June 1st for a special meeting that would be dealing only with the fire station application. Everybody understand that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, then, thank you, everybody. I'm going to, without objection, declare the meeting closed at 8:17.
Yes.
Any
Okay.
objection? All right, thank you all. We'll be in touch. We'll let you know
Bye, everybody.
for body count.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Eric, stay here, please.